Oh boy. Well, it definitely doesn't look like Donald Trump is holding back any particular punches, especially when it comes to the tariff war that now has been engaged with Hollywood. As Donnie Boy is getting in that A, all of this as Hollywood is really pissed off with him. All of this as on social media right now, there's some interesting things trending right now, specifically about, quote, empty shelves. What is really going on here? Is this another propaganda effort against Donald Trump, or are there legitimate concerns when it comes to the supply chain that are being interrupted through, of course, this trade and tariff war? What's really going on here? Well, let's talk about it, as, of course, there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the global financial order that clearly is corrupted. It's rigged. It's a financial system where almost everything is fake and artificial and meant to, of course, take away from you rather than, of course, produce anything legitimate of value. As there's going to be a lot of people pissed off since they're not getting their Temu orders, like this young woman that wasn't so pleased with her prom dress that arrived right before prom. All of this is, my response to all of this after traveling the world many times over is that this is a lot of first world problems. But these first world problems really got real, especially with Donald Trump, who looks like he's not playing around. He's definitely a very unorthodox. He's definitely a little bit different. He's definitely changing things up here, as I would say Donald Trump right now is absolutely doing the right things, in my own personal opinion. There's some things that I disagree with. The last video I did, I disagreed with some of the policies that he was instituting, and I talked about them. This administration has actually been listening to criticism, engaging in dialogue, talking and being more transparent and accountable than almost any other administration out there. And they are doing some radical shifts, some radical changes to our society right now that I believe need to be radically changed and shifted. Our whole global financial system, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's rigged. It's unfair. It's unscrupulous, especially when it comes to us being dependent on propping up our chief global rival that clearly is making some headways when it comes to trying to game the larger financial system for their own personal benefit. And they do it in many very interesting ways. In yesterday's video, we talked about how a lot of the liberal, woke, democratic policies are specifically out there implemented in a way to subvert the power production, mineral collection, manufacturing, and production base of the Western world, so we are fully reliant on China. That also is, according to many experts and analysts, having our lunch with not just innovation right now, but also artificial intelligence, which will rule the game here, as, of course, we have seen many of our industries bow down to China beforehand, as one of the things that China has decided to hit us back on, specifically when it comes to this global trade war, was the entertainment industry. As there are some Hollywood movies that actually make more money over in China than they do here in the United States. Since, of course, China has a bigger population, more people watch the movies. China goes to our movie industry and says, you know what, that mention of Taiwan, that flag that you accidentally put there, you're going to cut that out. John Cena, down now, you poor, pathetic, little weasel of a man that will do anything for a buck. You now crawl on your knees and you speak in Mandarin to our people, apologizing for accidentally mentioning a country that is supposed to be China. And you saw John Cena in full emotional gravitas bow down to his Chinese overlords here. As listen, the Hollywood entertainment industry is an industry that I have no sympathy for. It is an industry that covertly puts subliminal messages into your mind that are destructive towards family, towards religion, towards anything that is kind of wholesome. If you look at the kind of debaucherous, destructive nature of Hollywood, it is, in my opinion, the exact epitome of evil. personified through this kind of larger entertainment industry that has been filled with a lot of seedy predators like the Harvey Weinsteins of the world that truly, and this is, and again, I have my own insights to this, right? Before, we haven't even told you what Donald Trump is doing to Hollywood. Let me just tell you really quick here before I get into. I'll save my theories about the devil and Lucifer and how many people in Hollywood sell their soul to the. I'll save that for the end of this video. Let's continue on with the news here because there's a lot of important news here as Hollywood has been hit by Donald Trump as Netflix stocks just dropped 2%, as a lot of other media stocks are down, as now Donald Trump has announced that he will be tariffing all movies not made in the United States 100%. Yep. Tariffs will now drive up production costs for Hollywood as tax credits, lower labor costs have pushed production overseas. And there's a lot of people in Hollywood saying, yeah, I'll just go make my movies in Europe where there's free tax. I'll just go to parts of of Asia. I'll just shoot my movie somewhere else because of the incredulous kind of predatory regulatory and tax practices in California, where a lot of the movies aren't really made there. Hollywood still is there. There's a couple buildings there. There's a couple production houses there, but vast majority of production doesn't happen in the United States. It looks like Donald Trump's trying to bring that back here, but I think he should, meet this kind of demand here with tax cuts. That's just my opinion, as the taxes are just too gosh darn high, especially with states like California being extremely predatory against the local population there, preventing any kind of form of life being actually economical. As now, there's very few details, but Trump is saying, yeah, you make a movie overseas, you're trying to get it, sell it over here, we're going to tariff it 100%. A lot to this news, specifically with the empty shelves. Before talking about that, we still have our shelves open on wearechange.shop, where some of our products are made and manufactured here inside of the United States. We got some tea, we got some CBD, we got some ashwagandha, we got some fish oil, we got some magnesium glycinate, we got some common sense creatine, we got some bundles out there. Listen, Mother's Day is coming up. May 11th. I think we only have, we might not have any of these packages left. Once it stops saying add to cart, it's out. It's over. I think we only have a few boxes left. Great box. Just perfect thinking. Look, really pretty box. It's pink. Has a whole bunch of nice messaging on it. Has a whole bunch of nice products in there. Look at that. All available for your mother or your baby mama. Write your name on there. We just made it easy for the guys. Guys have to deal with so much unscrupulous stress and finger wagging and nonsense. So for all the boys out there, get yourself the No More Drama from Your Mama bundle. $84. And it's a great bundle, and it's going to make sure that your woman in your life is going to be happier, healthier, less stressed. That right there, that's worth the money alone, especially when they take common sense creatine, magnesium glycinate, the magnesium mist. We got some eye rollers if they want to look pretty, all that other stuff, all available. Only exclusively on wearechange.shop. Click the link down in the description below. Check out our store and support this independent media network at the same time as we have sourced some of the best stuff, some of the good. It's not the cheapest, all right, the stuff, but that's because it's high quality stuff. Other people upcharge a lot for this and put more fancier like labels and it's so fancy premium. No, we just tell you exactly what it is, and we sell it at a good price. Not the cheapest of prices, but the cheapest prices comes with lower actual quality of the product. We made sure we sourced the best quality. Get it right now. wearechange.shop, especially our creatine. Creatine's freaking incredible. It is absolutely incredible. Now let's talk about this as now Trump vowing on tariffs on movies made abroad waivers the Dow, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, look at the stock market. The stock market's everything." The stock market isn't really everything. Let's just be real with ourselves here. The stock market is another Ponzi scheme that only a few people really control the vast majority of. As sadly, a lot of us are investing in this Ponzi scheme controlled by a few people that are now really run by bots and algorithms that are just making money for the super rich people in this world. And a lot of people are like, no, Trump, stop the tariffs, please. I'm like, listen, I'm not in the stock market. well, why did you want to go in the stock market? The stock market, it's a rigged game. I'm not going to be crying for BlackRock and State Street and all these other major financial sectors that, of course, have rigged the system for their own personal benefit. And again, U.S. media, stock slide. I don't care. I'll be honest with you. I don't care. 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 Mom and pop, small businesses have been gutted and destroyed. All right. And the corporate media was like, yeah, send those police officers, send those jackboot officers to shut that grandma's store down. Grandma has a candle store. Hell, she doesn't. She's spreading the spread. You got to walk in Walmart. You got to buy your stuff on Amazon, like we tell you to do. And now the corporate media is like, oh, no, the stock market. The stock market. Shut up. As of course, now we have an opportunity. Now we have a chance. This is the gamble that Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump wants to bring back American businesses, mom and pop shops, manufacturing, businesses that are going to, of course, be American. Most of them are Chinese. Most of them are more and more robotic. Why can't we do that here? As of course, again, everyone's crying right now. Corporate media is crying. Oh no, the impact on Hollywood. Sorry, these predatory child herders and abusers. I don't give a damn about it. As we have to understand here, this has been an industry that has been losing its influence. And you know what? Good riddance. Listen. When you produce debauchery, when you produce all of this horrible, destructive behavior in the minds of people, when you keep setting representations of fathers and males, especially if they're white, as weak, pathetic, fat, individual losers, when you keep trying to undermine Western civilization, when you keep trying to promote these tropes of strong females, girl bosses that are not natural, that are counterproductive, that are destructive, when you try to set this kind of identity and this kind of representation of this world in such a backwards, evil, nefarious way, yeah, you know what? Maybe you're an industry that doesn't deserve our support here. Now, of course, everyone loves their infotainment. Everyone loves their entertainment. Everyone loves a good way to just kind of relax and just to watch some forms of entertainment and just to not worry about, the worries of the world. But now, for me personally, after being in this for so long, you just see little bits of propaganda just seated in there. Like, oh yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, the white guy's really bad. The white guy's so evil. Yeah. Ooh, be afraid, white guy bad. Oh no, white guy. Oh no, that white guy bad. Ruski. Oh, the Ruskis. Oh, and slavery, good. Giving up your liberties, good. Yes, we got to keep everyone safe and secure by giving up all of your civil liberties. Yeah. Banksters, corporatists, predators, great. Yeah. Girl bosses, look at girl bosses. Yeah. All right. And I'm done with it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see it. So personally, the corporate media clutching over their pearls, like, oh, they're all. Oh no, the predators, the child abusers in Hollywood. Oh no, what are you going to do? Good. Listen, that's just my own personal gripe here. All of this is in the making of this video on TikTok. Empty shelves right now is trending. And there's a lot of people documenting, hey, there's some supply chains that are being disrupted here through these tariffs. As some people are saying, yeah, I'm actually at the grocery store. Everything's kind of fine. Nothing's really empty at all. Other people are saying, well, look at this. Look, they're empty. And people are saying, some people are saying this is real. Some people are saying not. Some people are saying that this is fake videos. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how this develops. As of course, what's going to be more important is the stock market and cheap consumer goods brought in from abroad. Is that going to be more important to the American base? Will Donald Trump break to these efforts and acquiesce to them and say, okay, guys, enough of these protectionist policies, enough of trying to make America great again, enough of us trying to actually build and make stuff here domestically. We'll open up the floodgates. Let's keep bringing in and importing all of our products instead of making them abroad here. and supporting ourselves here. Instead of investing our dollar within ourselves, we're just going to give it away. Is that what Donald Trump is going to do here? Who knows? That's a possibility here. But when we look at everything that's kind of happening here, as the New Yorker writes, Donald Trump's tariffs are already having a dramatic effect, prompting warnings that Americans will soon be facing empty shelves at retailers. Will they be facing empty shelves here? Are the empty shelves here already? I don't know. It's hard to decipher. A lot of propaganda and disinformation and emotional kind of hijacking of our algorithms and our information. So, of course, there's a lot of bots out there. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to set up a perception of reality that is absolutely artificial, that is absolutely fake. And when we, listen to some of the trends and what everyone's talking about, we have to understand that there's a big possibility a lot of this is astroturfed, as CNN is already running with news headlines like this.
I think it's really damaging messaging. It's a little bit of a let them eat cake moment. I think for the president, I think everybody understands he's very financially wealthy, but
Trump's wealthy. He says, let them eat cake. No. Trump's saying, actually go make something out of yourself. Actually, let's go produce something. Let's go build something. Let's actually try to, not import the cake from China with fentanyl in it. Let's actually try to make the cake here. That's what Donald Trump's arguing here, in my opinion.
Beginning to tell the American people how many dolls or how many pencils they can have, I think suggests a little bit of an elitism perspective. And I think that
trying to bring back American jobs is not an elitist perspective. An elitist perspective is saying, give your money to China. Give your money to all these huge multinational corporations. Prop them up. That's the elitist mindset that has been carried out and practiced by the United States government overwhelmingly within the last few years throughout all the last presidents that, of course, have issued policies that have greatly disadvantaged the American public. There's a reason we're in a situation where we are right now, where the value of the dollar just keeps going down dramatically. We keep printing money out of thin air. And then when we do, what do we have to show for it? Oh, we can't afford rent. We can't afford houses. We can't afford groceries. People are having harder and harder ways of making ends meet. And an elitist viewpoint is saying, come on in, guys. We're going to lower the price of wages while increasing the cost of housing through open immigration. Come on in. Yeah. And we'll take money from the poor and we'll give it to these new guys. Yeah. That's the elitist mindset, saying more cheap labor. Yeah. More cheap stuff. Yeah. And again, the representation here by CNN totally backwards, in my opinion.
I do think this overall messaging has greater concerns coming forward, because this is the week that the ports in Los Angeles and the West Coast are beginning to expect really to see a lot less goods coming into the United States, and that's
because also China set up another competing port in Peru that is supposed to bypass the United States in global trade, which they just implemented and set up in Latin America, where their sphere of influence is, of course, growing significantly.
Have impact on workers in the ports. It's going to have impact on truckers. It's going to have ultimately potentially impact in stores, because the expectation is that stores can run through the inventory they've accumulated for the next 4 or 5 weeks, but that's going to begin to fall off. I think that's an image that really should concern the White House, is if there's actually supply disruptions coming forward.
Yeah. What will happen with the supply disruptions? Will they be able to bring Donald Trump to heel here? Because, of course, a lot of people are saying, well, if there are going to be empty shelves, first it's going to be consumer electronics that are going to be most vulnerable, since a lot of them are made in Asia and they rely on West Coast imports, and that import kind of slows down. The production slows down. There's bigger tariffs on them, and a lot of less people are going to be buying them. A lot of people are saying apparel and footwear also predominantly made in Asian countries, as that will be predominantly hit here as well. Auto parts and vehicles could be hit as well. Same as packaged food and beverages. Lots of them are poisoned, by the way, and filled with lots of inflammatory, destructive ingredients for your overall health and personal well-being. Home improvement and furniture also is probably going to be hit. Same with pharmaceuticals and medical supplies. That's a racket there. I was just watching a video with, the EpiPen and how that whole frickin' thing has been scamming people in so many different ways. Toys and seasonal goods. Oh no, our toys and seasonal goods from China. Oh no. Oh no. so bad. It's going to be so not good. Again, there's going to be real life consequences. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be shakeups. It's not going to be easy. The interesting move is, what is China going to do? What is Donald Trump going to do? Will we be able to finally... I think Donald Trump, if he wants to move here, has to get rid of the income tax. He's promised it. He teased it. We get rid of that. We get rid of tax and all these stupid rules and regulations on the American public. And then we're able to, of course, take that money and actually build and grow and develop stuff with it. That right there. I think that's an amazing plan. But if we still keep the same amount of taxes, same amount of regulations, and now we also hurt the kind of free market, hurt the economy, hurt the supply chain, that right there is going to fare well, because now Americans are still being cash strapped by the government, taking all their money, acting like a vampire on them, not having extra cash to actually start to develop, play around, and to try to grow and build and make stuff themselves. That's the issue. And I think it's a very fair balance. We might see Donald Trump kind of acquiesce here because of massive supply chain disruptions. There's going to be a lot of media crying and trying to emotionally manipulate you, but they're emotionally manipulating you to keep the same Ponzi scheme going up against you that has been robbing and looting and destroying your wealth for an extremely long time. So I don't care about the old financial system. I really don't care about the stock market. I really don't care about Hollywood. That's just me. I'll have to do another video specifically about the predatory, destructive, abuse nature of Hollywood. I'll probably do that in the next video. So subscribe, click the notification button. Again, I think I sent my mom one of these Friday. She just got it this morning. So there's still a possible way for you to get this for May 11th, maybe, if we still have them. We Are Change.shop. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.